Peace, love, and lights. I wanted to come today to share something that I was talking about with someone that I met the other day, at the Healers Alchemy event, and we were talking about friendship. Well, we were talking about a bunch of things, but the concept of friendship came up, and I shared something with her that I've been thinking about for a couple of days, and what it was so profound that I wanted to share it with other people, which was how sometimes we could hold on to a concept that keeps us like enslaved in a way, or keeps us held captive because of our belief in that particular concept. And it's not necessarily the concept that keeps us captive. It's more so our belief in a particular concept and the connection to that concept that could keep us like trapped in a way of thinking that doesn't really resonate with what our reality is. And for me, that concept was friendship. Well, is friendship. I won't say was friendship because it doesn't really keep me captive anymore, because I understand a little bit beyond that. But what was keeping me captive for a long time was my belief in what friendship was. My definition of friendship is the same. It's similar to what Naruto believes in friendship. Like, when he makes a friend, he is truly their friend. Like, he accepts them for who they are, and he is forever connected and bonded with that person because he truly believes in the concept of friendship. For me, for the longest time, I would have I had this strong and serious definition when it came to friendship, and my belief or my understanding of what friendship was is what I always held on to. So when I would meet people out in life or whatever, like whether it be like in college, whether it be at work or whatever, or just like in school in general, I would have this idea of what I thought friendship was, and then I would be attracting people into my life that would call me like best friend or something like that, and they wouldn't necessarily, to me, represent what it meant to be a friend. And that's not saying that they were bad people. It's just that they didn't represent what I thought of as a friend. And the only reason why certain relationships existed was because of my understanding of what friendship was, or what I defined as friendship. And my definition of friendship is what kept me in the friendship with the people that I didn't really consider like strong friends or strong representations of what I understood as friendship. It was more so me being in the relationship because they called me friend or best friend, and my belief in what friendship was kept me connected to them because I believe that friendship is about loyalty through three, and really being like a real friend to them, but only because they had this idea of what friendship was and they impressed that upon me, and I accepted it because I didn't understand what friendship was, or I didn't understand that I could have friendships that fully reflected my definition of what friendship is. And I would attract these people into my life that simply called me friend because of whatever reason they called me friend. Like, they may have viewed me as a friend, or they may have viewed me as like a best friend, but I only accepted their friendship on their terms. Like, I didn't consider them like best friends because, I didn't consider them best friends because we had in a lot of cases, well, in most of the cases, I didn't know them that well, And in not knowing them that well, I mean, like, I didn't consider them like the best of friends because I felt like we should have had a deeper connection a lot of the times. And the way that the relationship go was more so different from what I would call like friendship or a best friend. Like a lot of times, I didn't consider myself strongly connected to them. I felt I was more so, I want to say like, connected to them based on like the circumstances rather than the actual connection. And that's kind of hard to explain. I would have to go into it in depth, but I'm not really trying to like put anybody out there. I'm just trying to say that I didn't have like the strong connections with them that I would have wanted for me to consider them like a best friend. And this is not to say that I was being fake or phony with them or anything like that. It is because I had this belief of what friendship was that I even within the relationship with them, because I believe that friendship was about loyalty regardless of the connection that we had. Like if they called me friend, if they considered me a friend, and if they considered me a friend, I was their friend. But it was only my belief, or rather my definition of what friendship was, that kept me in the relationship with them, because I believe friendship to be much more than what the relationships were calling for, what the relationships represented. And that's not to say that they were bad people. It's just that we didn't have the same definition of friendship. Like we didn't meet on that level. We didn't really connect on that level as far as our definition of friendship. And it was simply that, like they had a different understanding of what friendship was than I did. And maybe it was more so they wanted to pull more out of me. Like maybe because it was a different part of my life where I was more closed off and I wasn't as open as I am now, and I wasn't as expressive, and I wasn't as content or as happy with my life as I am now, where I could just be like who I want to be rather than be who I thought other people wanted me to be. And I think that's one of the things that had me in the relationships that I was in, as far as the friendships anyway, was because I believed that I had to be a certain type of person or a certain part of myself to be friends with the people that I was friends with. And that wasn't who I was. It was the idea of who I thought I had to be cool or to be accepted. And I fought with that for a long time, like being a certain way to be accepted rather than being who I am to be accepted, because I didn't understand the importance of being who I am as I do now. Like I love who I am and I love who I'm becoming, so much so that I'm putting certain things on camera, as far as like, creating a magic book, or just different parts of my life and my understanding about life, things that I've been through in life that I would have never done before. Like I've never allowed myself to be vulnerable in front of certain people, because I didn't have that understanding of myself, and I didn't understand the importance of vulnerability. But in understanding vulnerability, I'm allowed to be more myself, because it's not about what other people think about you that allows you to be you. It's about what you think about yourself, and how comfortable you are being you, that will attract the right people and will attract the right energy to you regardless. Even beyond the people, like it'll attract the things that you want in life to you, rather than you attracting things that you don't want, because you're not sending a false representation of who you are. Because when you're sending a false representation of who you are, you get all kinds of energy sent back to you that doesn't really resonate with who you are, and that isn't really good for you because it's not agreeable to you. But you're giving this idea that it's agreeable to you, and it's really not, and it's making you have all these problems that you don't need to have. Like you could be attracting all this negative energy and not knowing why, but it's probably because you're being a representation of yourself that isn't real. And in being a representation of yourself that isn't real, you attract different things to you that may fit the role that you think you're playing, but they're not things that will actually be good for you, or feel good for you, or feel appropriate for 1111, feel appropriate for your growth, or be conducive to your growth or your journey in life. Because it's all about the journey, and you can't heal on your journey if you are not being who you're supposed to be. If you're being somebody else on your journey, if you're being a false image of who you are on your journey, you're only going to make your healing process harder. Like you will end up developing metaphorically calluses on your proverbial wound rather than actually healing it. Like it'll get harder and harder, but it won't actually heal because you're not being who you are. So like it's giving it another layer, and in giving it another layer, it's not allowing you to relieve that pain or to allow that pain to go away. So what you have to do is be who you are. And in being who you are, you allow yourself to heal. You allow yourself to let that pain go, or let that trauma go, whatever it is, go. And you will get the understanding that you're seeking within yourself. And it will relieve you of all the things that you think you have to hold on to be you. And it's just kind of something that I've been kind of like arriving at, but it's not something that I'm very like familiar with as far as like discussing, because this is a new level of healing for me. Even though I don't feel like I'm technically tied to it, it's just something that I haven't discussed. Because a lot of the stuff that I'm talking about is stuff that isn't necessarily relevant to me in the now. It's more so something that I've dealt with a while ago that I'm kind of just like wanting to let go more of. Like it's like something that I'm aware of that I experienced that I want to let go more of. Like I don't want to have it show up in ways that are not like healthy. Like I want to be able to talk about it freely without feeling like I'm covering it up, because I don't feel like there's a need to cover it up. And I want to be honest about it because it's not something that I fear. It's not something that I even regret as far as like living my life, because at the end of the day, everything that I've done in life was for a reason, and everything that I've done in life was a part of my journey. It was a part of making me who I am, and I accept who I am. I accept who I am unconditionally, wholeheartedly. Excuse me. And it's something that I wanted to like share with other people. Like there's nothing that I want to like hide as far as who I am. I want to be as open and as honest as I can be, especially with myself. Like especially like looking at myself on camera and saying these things. I want to be as open and as honest with myself first and foremost, but with other people, because you never know who you may reach or who your story may reach that can benefit from hearing you speak the truth. And this is only like the tip of the iceberg. I may delve deeper into like specific topics, but this is one of the topics that I want to get into. Like my concept of friendship is something that held me captive for years because I didn't understand how to attract what I defined as a friend rather than attract what other people defined as friend, and what they felt was friendship rather than what I felt was friendship. Friendship to me is such a deep concept that I don't take it lightly. I can never take the concept of friendship lightly, because I actually believe in what it means to be a friend. Just as I believe in what it means to experience true love, because true love has nothing to do, to me personally, with anything physical. But that's another topic. Like truth, like another concept would be truth. Like when it comes to truth, I take that very serious as well. But I take all concepts that I've especially now, like I take all concepts that I've held on to, as far as like, I guess you can call them like the basic concepts, like truth, love, honesty, integrity, like peace, joy, all those type of concepts. Like I take those serious. Like even the concept of recycling, or rather littering. That's one of the first concepts that I learned that I took seriously, because I felt that it was important to not like throw things on the ground and leave them there, because I thought that was like just bad for the environment, but also I thought it was just something that wasn't agreeable. Like it didn't make sense to me to just throw your trash on the ground. It just made more sense to me to throw it in the trash. But yeah, that's just one of the concepts that I've always felt was a very important concept that I always held very close to my heart, and it's something that I can say that I value, like the concept of not littering. And this all pertains to my inner child. My inner child accepts all these concepts because, for one, I learned these when I was a child, and doing it always made me feel like a sense of responsibility and love and care for something bigger than who I was, or rather who I am, because it's still something that I believe, and it's still something that I accept. And I kind of feel like I rambled a little bit with this video, but that's okay. I really wanted to get some concepts out. I wanted to get some information out, but it kind of went in different directions, and I'm really satisfied with the way that it went, because it allowed me to see more of myself. And I hope that you got some value from this. And with that being said, I love you, and I hope that you have a great day.